haven't done my Paradise Lost read yet for the month of March, and I'm going to be doing a full read through today. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read the newsletter for the slow read, which is an introduction to book 3. So this is the introduction article. I'm going to read through this, I'm going to take some notes, and then I'm going to dive into the actual text. You definitely can't get through this read without a cup of tea as well. Okay, so I just finished book 3 of Paradise Lost, and I actually really loved book 3, and I was very intrigued by what book 3 did in terms of the actual poem, in terms of how it shifted everything. In book 3 of Paradise Lost, we finally get introduced to God, the sun, and the setting of heaven, which completely contrasts everything that we have been reading so far. You start to see sort of like how the hierarchical structures of power really come into play in the actual text. So one of the things that the newsletter said to focus on was sort of looking at the subject of light versus dark, which you do see so much of it, especially like the actual words of light, of dark. There's so much of it that plays a role in this part of the text. But one of the things that really stood out to me the most, aside from that, but I feel like branched off of that theme, was the way heaven was described versus the descriptors that we got from hell so far. The way book 3 mirrors book 1 and 2 is so interesting because it really shows like the polarity and the duality of what you're trying to read, and also what Milton is trying to build in terms of talking about heaven and hell, God and the fallen angels, God and his own angels, God and the sun. It's just so fascinating to me. It is very, very fascinating. I also found myself doing a lot of comparisons. So Satan and his conversation with the fallen angels of what he wants to do next to me, I was comparing that to the conversation that God was having with the sun. And it was just really interesting to kind of see how the two of these conversations were structured and played out in terms of this actual poem. But yeah, I took a lot of notes. I was underlining so much of the text this time. I was paying attention to so many different things. I really enjoyed book number 3. I'm actually going to take the time to journal about it and actually go in depth and answer the questions that was posed in the actual article that I read. Yeah, this is my updated Paradise Lost vlog. I am 3 books in and I'm enjoying it thoroughly so far.